Check. Okay, right
Yo.
on. Okay, perfect. We're back. Cool. No guests today, guys, but as usual, a $50,000 Maven account for one of the best questions, I suppose. We got the questions on the side here. Perfect. So we're just going to be kind of checking out the markets today. I think I might as well throw the trading view on the chart here. Perfect. Let's see if I can make a better.
Yeah, I've actually just taken a short on ES and NQ, Hunter.
What am I doing
Looks
here?
like it wants to continue lower.
Yeah. Okay. So on the ES and the NQ.
Yeah, I've just taken on both. Just yeah.
Yeah. Wow. That's
Both look like they want to take.
we do not have. So we did actually. I was able to snag along here and close it out yesterday, but
Nice.
yesterday during Asia, you know, we have this crazy parabolic move, and you know,
Yeah.
I guess today you might have. Are you taking a short into this? Hey. Interesting. Walk me through.
Yeah. So I mean,
why you're shorting this right now.
Yeah. Yeah. Let me. I can share get my screen up.
Yeah. Sure.
Can you see that?
I got you.
I think we could tip over, Hunter, just because we've London and Asia was so bearish as well. So you guys should be able to see that now. But yeah, coming right off that opening range low. So I got in at a nice price 158. We're currently trading 155. And NQ is actually also looking pretty weak as well, taking out that underneath that opening range low. So just underneath the VWAPs, just underneath the opening range low. So just trying to look for some continuation lower.
Yeah,
that's kind of like the thought process there.
I'm wondering, do you think it's risky with the current sentiment being so incredibly bullish? We've blown through the previous all-time highs, and without any remorse for a retest. If you're looking at the weekly, daily, they barely even retested anything.
Everything's just. Yeah, it's just definitely. I mean, everything that's been coming down, right? But this just feels a little bit more like a pullback rather than a pullback that's going to get bought. I don't know. Just some thoughts on what I'm reading right now.
I haven't even looked at the market yet today, so this is all first glance here, and I'm seeing we're retesting. If you jump to the daily candles there,
let's have a look.
On the NQ rather. I think it's about the same, but I'm looking at the NQ, and you've just you're retesting kind of these previous levels of consolidation, right?
Sure.
So it would be interesting to see if it is going to bounce. It's going to bounce here, in my opinion, right? And you've kind of I'm actually leaning more to the bullish side here right now. Just at first glance, just because we have that level, right? And then you're failing to make new lows on that 15-minute time frame. Same with kind of the 4 hour looks somewhat bullish, like a really nice bounce off on the 4 hour. If you see the previous 4 hour candle, we had a massive bounce.
Let's have go to the 4 hour as well. For each. There you go. Yeah, I mean, it's just been one way at least for today, everything's just been moving lower. So I mean, Nvidia's down, Tesla's down. The only stocks that are green are Apple and Microsoft right now. But I agree with you. Everything right now has, everything's just been moving one direction to the high side. So definitely fading the high time frame trend for sure.
I think my cat's yelling at me right now for some cuddles while we're talking here, but I think I might have to argue with you on this and say, hey, I think the bulls might still be rocking, and this might just be a sell-off, people taking profits.
Sure.
I'm sure that this move is over yet, right? Just partially just because it's such a ripper that it's kind of difficult to just decide to be bearish.
Sure. Yeah, I'm just on this trade for at least for ES. So at least for ES, I'm just looking for low of day. So it would be like 150. So that's like 4 points lower on. So we'll see if we do get it. But I do agree with you. I mean, everything right now, you move down, you get bought back up. I mean, look what happened yesterday as well. This is a 5 minute, but look what happened. We moved down and we just get bought back up yesterday as well.
Yeah, I think I might have to. I'm trying to log into my account.
What you haven't been trading too much? Have you got any swing trades on at the moment?
So I will be honest. I decided to close out my Bitcoin short for a loss. Not too much of a loss.
Okay.
But if I switch back to, I'm going to switch back to my charts
here. Yeah.
And I just explain the reasoning. For so long, I've been such a bear on Bitcoin, and for good reason. You know, we've had these higher time frame monthly candles, you know, failing to actually get any sort of significant closes back again. And you know, once again, you know, this monthly candle might close bearishly. Who knows? I don't think it's super important, that monthly candle. But what changed my mind here is we've actually regained back into this zone here. And I was hoping that we'd have another rejection. Like 2 weeks ago, we had a solid rejection, and I said, hey, still bearish, right? Because it's still rejecting. But now that we've closed back within here, I just don't know. So just last night, I closed out my short, slight loss because I think we were shorting from, you know, somewhere on these highs, so it's not too bad. And I think I'm just gonna wait, because the reality is, what I see here is, if this is in fact regaining a significant level here, well, we could easily come back up to 100K here, because this is all one move, and I want to kind of replicate that move here after they've regained it. So I think I might just sit on the sidelines kind of right now and wait a little bit and start, you know, averaging back into some long-term Bitcoin plays, because the reality is yeah, like the reality is, I would rather be a bull and be wrong than be a bear in, you know, for too long. You know what I mean? And if you're a bear in the crypto market and you're sitting there too long bearish, you're eventually going to get wrecked, right? But if I'm a bull and I'm wrong, I'm eventually going to be right. I will always eventually be right, as long as I manage my risk accordingly.
Yeah.
Right. Then
but
then it's not going to be an issue. Right.
Sure.
So let's say okay, I was bearish here, and I was expecting it to go lower, sub 60K, probably 50K, something like that. And let's say it does go down there and I start buying here. Well, who cares, right? I could also just buy here again too. And it's not going to be a big deal, as long as I make sure that I don't get liquidated at any point. And as long as you're buying spot, you're not going to get liquidated, right? So I'm just trying to get the best trades possible for long term. And you know, there's no reason not to be in Bitcoin after a 50% collapse, right? The only reason is that you want a 70% collapse instead, and you're just being a little bit greedy, right? So I'm kind of changing my mentality here and switching more to the bull side, I suppose. Yeah,
I like it. Yeah, I mean, crypto, the Bitcoin run at the moment's been pretty nice. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I've been long just spot as well since, like, when was it? I bought it about, you know, like 67, 68K, a little bit down at 65. So yeah, I like it, bro.
Area. So you're turning into a Bitcoin adopter now, eh?
I am, bro. I actually really do. I like it. I mean, I've got a card that I spend on too, so I like it, bro. It's pretty handy.
Yeah. Okay, let's see if we got a couple questions here.
Yeah, let's see some questions here. Yeah, but I'll keep you updated with my trade on ES. My entry price is 159 on ES, so we'll see what happens.
I'm gonna switch my chart back here too, because I think what I want to actually take a long on this. I think potentially add to my long, because I do have QQQ longs from swing play longs.
Okay, nice. Yeah, on the swing trading account. Yeah.
Well, we did take a little bit of a hit. I thought I closed. I have a little bit of a gold trade still running, but I closed some of it yesterday.
Gold.
Yeah, gold took a bit of a tank. Let me get some more QQQ added first.
Asia session today, yeah. Yeah, gold slid a little bit in Asia, just even on the daily, down at almost 4,500 now. Interesting. Any obviously most of the guys on Maven are you said gold's quite popular with you guys, yeah?
Gold's probably the most popular asset to trade. Let's look at, because gold really did take a tank these past few days. And the reason why we got out of a same sort of thing is, you know, we were looking for longs on gold, but we had to close out the gold longs just because it's becoming uncertain. Let's delete some of this stuff. So when this is what I was looking at least, and see if you can get your opinion too.
Yeah, that daily bar is pretty. That daily bar to the downside today is pretty ugly.
Yeah, let's look here. Yeah, super bearish. And the thing is, I don't know where this is going to bounce. Is the thing. It's showing this really choppy, kind of disgusting move that I don't really understand. And what I want to be in is the trades that make sense to me, right? Like the ones that are super easy. And when price was down here and we had this massive wick on the bottom and failure to lose these levels, right? I knew it was going to come up, right? But now that we're not coming up anymore and we're kind of seeing, hey, a failure on the daily, and then we're really not bouncing off these levels. It's kind of doing this disgusting consolidation. We closed out of our gold yesterday, which I suppose actually perfect timing because this move is quite painful to watch. But that's the reality is, right? Like it didn't look good anymore. It just started like you have these really weird closes. It's not bouncing the way we want it to. So we might as well get out, right? And then just wait, because I would rather not lose money than try to make money. You know what I mean? And at some point, it's going to tell us, hey, maybe it'll come down here, make a new low, and then come up again, and then we can start re-entering again at a good price. But we're not sure, right?
Yeah. And no more week trading. Remember that week trade?
Oh yeah, man. It's been downhill since that week trade. There's been no good easy trades since then, hey? How about yourself? Are you taking any swing trades right now?
At the moment, just that Bitcoin that I'm holding. I did have some Mag 7 stock names that I got out of about end of last week. Which obviously I missed out on a little bit of extra gains on the video this week as well. The video was up like 5% yesterday, but just that gold that I'm holding, just that Bitcoin that I'm holding at the moment. So that's all I'm really looking at from a swing trading perspective. I'll see what Bitcoin does and then maybe add to it, but I haven't really been looking too much on the swing trading side of things in the last week or so, I'd say.
Now let's ask you a question. This NASDAQ move, this caught a lot of people off guard. And even myself, like long-term plays, it looked crazy bearish for a while. And the only indication I suppose you might have gotten that this was going to come back up was this massive green candle here. What would you do as a trader now that you've seen, hey, we have this massive move. This is a month long of just straight up. How would you play this now?
Yeah, I mean, like that, even for my trade now, I would agree with you. I'm definitely fighting what's been happening in the last, how many weeks is that? Like four weeks. But I'm just trading what's in front of me, and managing risk. I think that's the best thing that you can do as a trader. You can't, obviously, no one can really predict markets in terms of long-term profitability. I just look at what's in front of me and I try and trade from a day-to-day perspective. I think that's the best thing that I can kind of offer in terms of advice. And so like, it's you never know what's going to happen. I mean, like look at the Nasdaq drop today. I mean, it's already down today from Asia high. It's down, 60 points on ES, and NQ's down. What would that be? 400 points. So I think just trade what's in front of you. That's kind of like what I try and stick to, at least.
Fair. There's another. I have another.
We are coming down a little bit. We are trying to rotate back down now on ES. So my ES is in profit.
Let's look
at 150, 159. Yeah. But I'm just looking for low of day, Hunter. So it'll be like, as I said, like 150. I'd be looking to trim on ES.
Yeah, you might get it. With a momentum like this, it's this is a lot of downward selling. Even if I noticed that even if you do get these massive wicks, if there's so much momentum, so often it just hits it a few times, right? And it still hits the target despite still wanting to go up, right? You're getting all this buyback pressure, but there's still a lot of sellers in the market, right? So in both directions, you're getting volatility. So either play could work fine.
Yeah, that's kind of just my thinking at the moment in terms of just looking for the short little scalps, But as you said, like the longs definitely have been paying off. I know someone that was swing trading those longs from the bottom. Pretty crazy move that they got, obviously. So yeah. But I mean, today Nvidia's down 3%, Tesla's down, and we got Meta down as well. We do have massive earnings this week as well, Hunter. We got Amazon, Google, and I think we also have FOMC tomorrow too.
Okay. Any predictions on either FOMC or earnings reports?
I think it comes lower before. I think we need a pullback, bro.
You think? Yeah.
I don't know. I'd like to see a pullback before maybe the next leg.
I wonder if we can, if FOMC, let me pull up Fed Watch. I'll see if I can screen share this in a second. Okay.
Yeah. Just having a look at some of the questions in the chat just while I am just gazing my eye through. Yeah. What is what trading mistake? Okay, so I saw a question there about, I can't find it now, but what's one trading mistake that most traders take? I think it's probably over trading and over risking. That's probably the main ones that blow traders up. Over trading and over risking. I would say those two.
Sure. Okay, so FOMC tomorrow, it looks like 100% chance that nothing happens, right? So if you guys are curious of how FOMC is going to affect the market, what you can do is you can go to the Fed Watch CME group here, right? And it'll tell you when the next FOMC is. And then it's going to give you a percentage of the odds of basically, who's voting where, basically, right? On the board. And looks like for the first time ever, really, it's 100% chance that tomorrow is going to be the same as the current. And now, if you want to predict if there's going to be crazy volatile moves, basically, if they cut rates, I guess it's going to be different depending on what the current situation is. But if they cut rates, generally that means that it's going to be more borrowing in the market. Okay. So right now they're not going to cut any rates, but if they do cut rates and it's unexpected, that's going to cause markets to pump. Okay. Because they're going to be able to, investors are going to be able to borrow more money, right? And if they hike rates, then generally what that means is prices are going to go down because investors aren't going to be able to borrow as much money. Okay. So what do you mean by rates? Yeah. So these are the interest rates lending for borrowing money, for lending money. Yeah. Yeah. So if people don't know, right? I normally theoretically,
I'm not a trader, Nick, on this type of stuff. He's kind of like the master, right? But I think typically if the Fed cuts rates, stocks move higher. If they hike rates, increase rates, then stocks stocks come lower. Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah. Cool. Question from Omar. If you lost 50% of your capital tomorrow, would you change your strategy, or would you just double down because you believe you're right? Be specific.
What if you lost all your capital?
50% of your capital tomorrow. Basically, how would you change your trading?
That's an interesting one. I'd probably take a break personally before looking to do anything. I mean, 50% of your capital is probably pretty crazy, bro. I'd probably take a break and then plan my next move from there. But that if you're losing 50% of your capital, it's probably over risking. So you definitely need to reevaluate that.
Yeah, unless you fat fingered something.
Fair.
You know,
that's happened to all of you. Trade 10 lots instead of 1 lot on this.
Yeah. Honestly, if I lost 50% of my capital tomorrow, I wouldn't do anything different, because I trade with an amount of money that is meaningless to me. You know, it's I think trading should be with an account. Like, you should be trading either on prop firms, because then this doesn't even matter at all. But if you're trading with your own personal funds and you lost 50% of your capital in a single day, like, you shouldn't ever trade again. You should just quit forever, right? Because you know what I mean? Like if you have such, you know what I mean? If you have such a significant amount of money, it means you didn't manage your risk at all. You know?
Agreed. And you should only be trading with money that you can. That's why actually I like prop firms, Hunter. Like, if you fat finger an account or something like that, you only lose the amount that you paid for it. That's why I like it.
Yeah, and I've done that a lot.
Whereas if you do that on a personal trading account, you can, and you got 10 grand in there, you fat fingered, you lose 5 grand. That's going to sting, you know?
Yeah, I think with an amount like 10 grand, like that's kind of what I like to play with, because if I lose 50% of it, I don't care. It's not an amount of money that's going to be anything meaningful,
life changing. Agreed.
To my life, right? And that's just the preferred way that I like to trade. Is I like to trade in the fashion of it being a hobby, right? So I do this for fun. I have steady income elsewhere. Sometimes my money goes up, sometimes it goes down, and then it doesn't really matter, right? If you put all this pressure on you and then you do make that mistake, well, you know, like you might be on suicide watch there, right? So if you make a bad mistake, right?
True. Yeah, I mean, I agree with that, Hunter. Like, when I'm trading a personal account as well, I'm trading with like 5 to 10 grand, and I'm trading it aggressively compared to prop firms, right?
Yeah. All right, cool.
James, are you seeing a double top on the gold chart? Someone I don't look at like double top. Do you look at double tops in that, Hunter? I don't personally look at double tops in.
A double top on the gold, and in which time frame, right? Because there's definitely no double top here right now.
Yeah, I think he was looking at the which time frame that would help.
There's definitely no double top on any time frame.
Do you look at stuff like that, like double tops and stuff like that, Hunter, or not really?
No, but I understand where the double top idea comes from, right? Or the double bottom. Sure. Just the fact, like, if you're looking at this, and you've got like this W, right? Double bottom, right? It's an easy way for excuse me, easy way for beginners to identify a failure, right? Like the continuation is not continuing, basically, right? When you have a W shape, it's oftentimes an indication that, hey, the trend might have stopped, at least temporarily, and it might be coming back up a little bit, right?
Sure.
And it's the same with the double tops. The issue is you can kind of draw a double top with anything, like
anyway. Yeah.
Yeah, like this is the double top, right? Like I don't like everything is a double top, a double bottom. You can just kind of do what you like. It's hard to identify what things actually are double tops and not double bottoms. It's just your own interpretation.
Sure.
And
Yeah,
I know you don't.
I agree with that. That's
that.
No, I don't look at those. I agree. I agree because it's like a very subjective. But I do understand why traders would look at them. But by the way, ES is coming down now to 150, so I'm going to trim a little bit here to 150 on the pip, and then I'm going to see if we can maybe hold a runner. We'll see what happens.
Oh, lovely. Yeah, good thing I didn't take a long on the NQ. I don't like taking now when we're doing our podcast, I don't like taking like actual trades from on my own account because I don't want to be watching it while we're having a discussion.
Of course.
You know.
It's a bit different NQ's melting now. But...
Yeah.
Yeah. NQ's melting now too. New low of day. And interestingly enough, YM is actually still trying to hold up. YM is actually green on the day still, Hunter. If you look at YM as well on the daily time frame as well. Now, I know you've traded YM a little bit too, but we actually didn't on this run up now where NQ and ES made new highs. YM didn't.
Yeah. So what's interesting is I was actually contemplating this yesterday, and I want to get your opinion on it too, is US oil is ripping, like more or less ripping, right? This past, 2 weeks, it's been going up or more or less, right? And then US oil here, same sort of thing. This one's absolutely ripping as well. Why would oil be going up at the same time as the S&P, right?
Stocks.
Yeah. Right? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't seem to make sense to me that companies are doing well and oil is doing well. Like, the cost for these companies is based off of oil. So there's no chance that they're being more profitable now, right? You know what I mean?
100%. Yeah, it is a strange one. I agree with that. Yeah, like what's oil done in the last? Yeah, oil in the last 3 or 4 days since like the 21st of April is up 16%. Yeah.
Yeah, we're having this weird. Usually, if oil is cheap, then companies can produce cheap products, right? And then that's good for their overall profit, right? But oil is skyrocketing, right? And not even just like this past few days. Like oil has been skyrocketing since, February. It's been like 2 months. It's been going up.
Yeah.
Now it made a lot of sense when, let me go back to the ES here.
Yeah.
Made a lot of sense when, February, end of February, right around when oil started pumping, stock market started going down, right? So this makes no sense.
They move opposite. Yeah.
All of a sudden it just switched. So I'm not so certain about this. This pump seems to be really, really weird. It means it potentially could just be a massive manipulation.
Sure. Because are you saying normally when oil goes up, stocks come down, and when oil goes down, stocks go up? Is that
that should be logically the trend, right? Is
sure.
Oil runs pretty much everything, right? Would you agree?
Yeah, I do agree. Yeah, in terms of business operating machines, stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So if oil's really expensive, then it's really expensive to run a company, right?
Sure, and it eats into their profit margin.
Exactly. So oil is already expensive, right? If I go to the gas station right now, I'm spending like $2.50 per liter in Canada, at least. It's crazy. Sure. I'm spending a tank of gas for me is like $200 now, right?
Yeah, it is wild. We're gonna have to start walking.
Yeah, I can't do that. I just don't leave the house anymore. Just work all day.
Yeah. Sorry, I can't leave the house. Yeah, I'm gonna walk.
But
yeah,
so
I mean,
so
I
their
do agree with
operating
you in
costs are
terms of
definitely
that.
going up.
Yeah,
right. And
yeah,
I don't
it's actually a weird one.
Sorry, go on.
No, I was going to say this is a weird one that you mentioned that now, because oil has just been pumping. Normally, what I've seen even on the move up is when Trump tweets something or something like that, stocks will jump up, but oil will come down. Whereas it hasn't been doing that in the last couple of days.
Yeah, I think that this might be just more Trump manipulation to an extreme, because when did this start pumping, right? This started pumping when they reached a ceasefire, I believe, right?
Sure. Yeah.
But price of oil has not gone down.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's a good point, actually. Yeah, I
So
agree with that.
it's like they made this news of, hey, there's a ceasefire, and everyone's flamboyant again about the markets, but nothing has changed.
Yeah,
right?
it's actually a fair point.
Yeah. I'm wondering if, at some point here soon, we just get a massive red candle, right? And because I don't think this is being held up by anything, right? There's what price should be at is way down here, right? Price should be way down here based off of what oil prices are, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And also, but again, I think like this week is probably going to be a big week in terms of what everything like gold, oil, the stocks want to do, because we obviously, as I said, we got a lot of those Mag 7 earnings, and we have interest rates tomorrow. So, I definitely am going to be, my eyes are going to be on the lookout for what price wants to do. Then what's this NQ? I mean, this is a pretty big bearish bar in NQ. We haven't had a bar like this literally since, March, end of March. So the biggest, this is like, we've had, dude, it's actually been crazy. We've only had like on NQ, we've only had 3 red bars in the last, since the beginning of April. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, we've had
wow.
one on the, yeah. So it would be, your NQ actually looks a little bit, are you on MNQ? I'm using NQ continuous contract. That's probably why it might look a little bit different as well.
Same.
Yeah.
Should be about the same.
Yeah, mine, your doji at the top there showing red candle, mine's still showing a green. But this is a pretty big pullback right now on NQ today. Down, I think if this closes pretty aggressively red today, I think we definitely start to see a little bit of a retracement back. What do you think about this, Hunter? Like back into this level on NQ, those highs there at 26, like 300,
Do you want to
26,
show your chart?
like 400.
Okay. I'll show your chart.
Like something like this, something like that, like a retracement back into like this. Before we maybe get if this like that, before maybe the next leg higher, something along those lines.
That's exactly what I think everyone's looking at, right? Is we've gained on the weekly candles. What we'd like to see is a nice monthly close here soon too. They have 2 days left in the month, right? So, and it's going to be a race of, hey, can they close the monthly above the previous highs, right? And then we can make a decision whether or not we're going to continue up. But it looks like, okay, if the next 2 days dump like today dumped, well, then we're not going to be able to support this new high attempt. And that's going to be the top of potentially a bear market actually coming in pretty soon.
Look at that Nvidia. Nvidia was up 5%. We've almost erased that whole move from yesterday on Nvidia just today. We gapped down today, and now we just continue. Now it's just fading away. Nvidia was at all-time highs yesterday.
Yeah, it's unprecedented times, man. Like the volatility of a lot of traders are getting burnt, and I'll be honest, I am one of them lately. Not really getting burnt, but just not making money. You know what I mean? Made money at the start, like January, February, and then these past 2 months, nothing. Down a little bit. Still up maybe like 30% on the year, but nothing nothing to be proud of anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, it has been tough. I agree with you 100%. Interesting. So now I think on ES, and I'm just watching ES because I trimmed some of mine there, but I'm just watching ES. I think next level down on ES, if we take out these lows, like with like a bearish 50-minute, I think we come back down to like 140 down at these lows over here, which is down at 7140 on ES. NQ would be looking pretty bearish as well on NQ, but NQ would be like down at these, kind of at these next level, like 26,900 kind of. We at just slightly above 27K right now. Yeah, so my shorts that I'm still riding there look pretty nice. But let's see if there's any other questions in the chat.
Yeah, I got
anything you yeah, okay.
James, this one's for you. 99% chance of hold tomorrow. So I'm assuming he's talking about the rate FOMC.
Sure.
Is there a scenario where a surprise hike happens because of $100 oil? Actually, I don't really understand that question. I think I read it differently.
Saying because of the oil prices?
Yeah, no, the question doesn't make sense actually. Is there a chance that they basically, I think the question is there a chance that there's going to be a rate hike because of oil prices? No, that does not exist.
Yeah.
There's zero chance. I think I read it wrong.
Yeah,
I thought that was a much better question.
Yeah, I wouldn't. No, I mean, again, I don't think they make decisions based on oil prices personally.
They definitely
could be wrong, but yeah.
They definitely do not.
Yeah, NQ does look pretty weak here, Hunter, I must say. Like, it's not looking particularly strong at these levels.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to I think I'm gonna have to reevaluate some of my positions here soon. Maybe get out of my QQQ longs. Now, what's one of the ones that's, I'm just looking at my positions right now. One of the ones that pain me a little bit here is I'm down on the copper company, 5% down on. Let me show you this guy here.
Have a look.
We've been long-term on copper. This Southern Copper Company, you know, just completely crashed 5% today, and you know, copper's been super crazy bullish lately, actually. And I wonder, actually, I'm going to pull up Edge Finder here. This is from Trader Nick. And one of the great things about Edge Finder is you really get a fundamental breakdown of you know, any sort of asset. So fundamentally, gold is not doing super well, and you can get, you know, a breakdown from each of these individual you know, metrics. With copper, though, copper
does it give stocks as well?
Yeah,
stocks as well.
No, not stocks, but it'll give you the ES. But you can see, you know, copper's been relatively bullish lately, and you know, the chart even on copper has been more bullish than on gold. Actually, I'm going to switch over to actual copper here. And what I've been hoping for with this copper investment is that we get, you know, a run up similar to how we had gold and silver and platinum, because this is the only one that's not gone parabolic yet, right? So I've been sitting on copper for quite a while now, hoping that it you know, rips up, but
it rips.
Yeah. And
what other stocks? What do you think of stocks like Robinhood because of that pattern day trading rule as well that's now gone away? What do you think of like a stock like Robinhood? Do you think that that's got potential? I mean, that's like down 70% of all-time highs at the moment. It's down.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, actually more, 88%.
Wow. This is, you know, what's funny is I actually watched Dumb Money the other day. Have you seen that movie?
Oh, the Netflix documentary. Yeah. Yeah,
with Roaring Kitty and from the GME stock.
Yeah.
And what was so crazy is, you know, that was largely about Robinhood and their IPO, and then, oh wow, so this is This looks like it might be pumping back up because of that. That announcement was just last week, right?
Correct. Yeah, I think they actually jumped like on that announcement. They jumped like 5 to 6% just off that announcement, bro.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense because they're going to make money based off of that because it's going to be more
people are going to trade.
Yeah, easier for retail to get in, right? And that's the name of the game for brokerages is how easy is it for people to trade on there, and you know it's going to be more and more easy.
Yeah.
I just want to look at GME because you know a little flashback here.
Roaring Kitty.
Yeah, this I was actually fascinated by how fast GME, how fast it went from you know, it was at $5 or something, right?
True, yeah.
And then it was at $5 somewhere here. And then in just a couple days, it went up to, and this is the ultimate pump and dump, 120, and then crashed in another day. You know what I mean? And it just went back and forth for a while. And
yeah, he was holding like millions of dollars in that. He traded them as options plays, though, correct?
I'm not sure. I think I thought he just invested in stocks. I thought it was because it's all on Robinhood, right?
Sure, yeah, but then I think he also had some options plays as well. I think later on, like maybe. Later on, like in 2022. Yeah.
So
yeah,
what was wild is he had 47 million at the peak here.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
like if you're just thinking to yourself, you're like, when did you expect to sell? You know what I mean? you made 47 million in a week.
Jeez.
And you're
out,
like,
bro.
And you're like, it's not enough. Like that is insane.
Yeah.
He put in.
It shows you that.
Sorry, go on.
No, I was going to say it. And I think now I could be wrong on this, Hunter, but I think he actually did take options plays like 2 years later. And I think he was up something like 50 million on them. And then in one day, it obviously dumped and he was down like 20 million on them. But he still had, and he was on stream, like wounded in patches and everything like that. It was like, and he was like chilling and he was down on the day, like $20 million in unrealized gains, obviously, but pretty crazy.
Yeah, I only vaguely remember that because I was like 2021 and I wasn't trading that year anymore. Took a break. And I just remember hearing about Roaring Kitty being up millions of dollars and he was just live streaming it.
Streaming, yeah.
But it's just like he put 50 grand in and he 100x'd it in a week and he's like, it's not enough. And it just blows my mind. He's like, I'm just going to hold. Like, why are you holding? Well, for why? What's the purpose?
Money. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. to get money back from the hedge fund.
Let's get a couple more questions and then we'll wrap her up.
Yeah.
See if this.
Let's see. So someone's asking a good question about, will AI eventually replace human traders entirely? I don't believe so. I don't think that will. I think there'll always be space for human traders, like discretionary trading. I don't know. What are your thoughts?
Well, I think in theory, it's already kind of replaced human trading, right? Like the majority, like what do you mean by replace, right? The majority of traders is already a robot, right? And like, you could argue that it's AI-ish, right? Like, what is AI? Is it machine learning or, or is it just a robot running, right? Like, how did you code your AI? You probably use Claude, right? So I would already argue that majority of the market is already running off of AI and bots, right? You're just kind of, this is why I think large portion of trading is it's for fun, right? I think trading is a fun hobby to have and you'll play around and make some money. But if you really want to, make a lot of money from trading, the best way to go about it is doing quant, right? So coding like a quant bot or something, right? Because then you can just trade 24/7, right?
Sure.
Right?
Yeah. Until you.
Sorry, I think we keep
until
cutting
you
each
realize
other off because of the delay.
martingale bot.
Yeah, geez. Sorry, I think we have a delay here. So
yeah, I know it is a little. I don't know why. Yeah, I just had my internet actually sorted out this morning.
If my setup stops working for a while, should I keep trading it or step back and review it? Well, let's reframe that question. Is how long would you keep trying a strategy, you think, if it stopped working before you reevaluate?
Dude, I'll probably give it 6 months. Maybe less. Maybe 3 to 6 months.
I guess it depends on, was it working before and for how long? You know what I mean?
Yeah, true. Yeah, if you're making money with it before and then it just stopped, yeah, maybe 3 to if it was working before and you made good money before, maybe 6 months. If it's a brand new something that you're testing, maybe 3. But here's a funny question as well, Hunter. What pair should I trade to lower my cortisol levels?
Oh yeah. Which one, hey?
Oh,
you know what?
I can't be the Nasdaq.
That would not be the Nasdaq.
No.
You know, I think it would be the Dow. If I had to pick one that's like the calmest. You know why?
Why?
Because the Dow doesn't seem to bait you around too much.
Sure.
It just does its move.
A direction and wants
to picks a direction, it gets it done quick, and then you'll be done in the day quick. You know what I mean? Like, you can trade the open, and then that's all you need with the Dow, right?
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, the Dow. Yeah, the Nasdaq sometimes, as you said, like baits you into, false moves and stuff like that.
The Nasdaq is the king of fucking you over, right? Maybe the ES. You might say the ES, right? ES is a little bit smoother too.
Yeah, maybe. Or what I would say to that is, as maybe swing trade. Maybe you don't want to day trade and get your cortisol up.
Yeah. Actually, that's a good point.
Yeah,
is Bitcoin swing trading? Bitcoin swing trading might be the easiest thing ever.
Yeah. Any other questions there, Hunter?
Yeah. I see that cortisol question as well. Okay, we'll end on this one. When was your best aha moment in trading? Can you share your experience? Do you have one? And then maybe I'll share.
Yeah, I would say probably mine when I started to have like daily max loss limits that kept me in check. That was probably like the best one for me, limiting the downside. That's yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, funny enough. Okay, so there might be two major aha moments. One would be strategy related, and it was kind of when I realized that you don't need a full complicated strategy. You just only literally need to know the next move, right? And then instead of trying to predict the market, you just only predict the next move. And it's a lot easier than trying to like do these crazy runners. And that made it a lot simpler for me to lock in. But the bigger aha moment was more realizing that trading is a battle of identifying your emotion at any given time. It's not a battle of following your strategy, but it's a battle of knowing when you shouldn't be trading, right? And being able to recognize that, hey, I'm currently in over trading mode. I'm currently in panic mode. Okay, I will walk away. And that's the actual struggle of trading, right? It's because anyone can make money trading. All you have to do is buy, basically. You just buy it at any time. Market will go up. But if it's a bad time to be buying, walk away. You know what I mean?
Yeah, fair. Yeah, so like picking your spots, basically, when to be positioned. Yeah.
Yeah, when should I even be trading? When am I over trading? When am I feeling good? When am I feeling bad? Right. And
sure. Yeah,
you
that's
know,
actually fair.
Like yesterday, I was holding on to that gold trade for a bit, and I'm like, this doesn't look good, right? It doesn't look like what I want it to look like anymore. I'm hoping it's going up, so I should just exit, right? Now, because I recognize that I have no idea what the fuck I'm doing, right? So,
yeah, like when you know, okay, this doesn't look like some of my best trades that when I'm taking, let's just get the hell out and reevaluate. I think that's actually a pretty fair point.
Okay, guys, that's the stream. We have different guests on every single week. Some weeks we just trade. But thanks for joining us, James. And we're going to post the winner of the question 50K account in the Discord. So thanks for watching, guys. Thanks, James.
Yes, sir. Cheers, Hunter.